Girl, don't go for that. It's not.
Go to jail.
Girl, I've been thinking. I don't like this abstract healing. This version where we suddenly identify as all love and light, as if that's the result of healing. No, that's not healing, my friend. That's avoidance. That's just us suppressing our shadows because we don't want to face them. Because we don't want to do the real work, the hard work. We deny parts of ourselves and then we call that growth. So what do? We identify as good, we put on this shiny mask, and we walk around calling that healing. Isn't it ironic, actually? We've created a very acceptable, very spiritual way to avoid ourselves. But real healing is when you become whole. Do you know what that actually means? It means all of you, the good parts, the light parts, and the messy, the uncomfortable, the gnarly parts too. Well, that's healing. That's integration. You know, this performance of healing. Healing has become an identity, something that you wear, something that you show, something you perform. Like, oh, I'm so self-aware. I'm so healed. I just learned how to do yoga. I only surround myself with good energy. But let me say something that might sting you a little. You didn't heal. You just learned how to behave like someone who looks healed. There's a huge difference. Because real healing doesn't erase your anger. It doesn't delete your jealousy. It doesn't magically turn you into this always loving, always understanding human being. That's not human in the first place. That's a mask. And a lot of people right now are walking around wearing a very spiritual looking mask while their shadow is actually running the show behind the scenes. Why do we reject this shadow so much? Let's be honest about why this happens. Most of us have learned very early that certain parts of us are not acceptable, such as like anger, that's too much. Jealousy, well, that's ugly. Neediness, clinginess, weak. Boundaries, oh my God, that's so selfish. So what do? We cut those parts off. We hide them. We try to become good. And then we grow up and we call that healing. But what you reject doesn't disappear. It just goes underground, waiting for you to visit it again. Your shadow doesn't die, my friend. It waits. And it shows up in ways you don't expect, such as your relationships, your reactions, in the things that trigger you way more than they should. And you know what's the cost of fake healing? And this is where it gets real. Because suppressing those parts, it has a cost. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. Do you know the person who says, I'm not angry, but then they go quiet or they become distant, they start acting cold? They didn't process anger. They just buried it. And that's not peace. That is suppression at its finest. Or you must have met the high vibe only person, the all love and light person. They avoid hard conversations. They disappear when things get deep. They say things like, let's not go into negativity. But you know what? And if you're that person, you're not protecting your energy. They are not protecting their energy. They're avoiding emotional depth. Or do you know that relationship that looks perfect from the outside? Like, there are no fights, there's no tension, everything is always calm, but there's no honesty, no real intimacy, because both people are way too afraid to disrupt the image. No conflict doesn't mean the connection, the relationship is healthy. Sometimes it means no one is being real. No one is being real there. or the overgiver, always there, always kind, always saying yes. But inside, they are resentful, or maybe they feel drained or exhausted. And let me tell you something, that is not love. That's fear of being rejected. So everywhere you see here, there's like some shadow around it. Or my favorite one, the person who says, and I've been here too, the person that says, I thought I healed this. No, you just avoided situations that would trigger it. Because healing isn't proven when life is easy. It's revealed when something hits you, when someone crosses a line, when you feel something intense, or when your first reaction isn't pretty. That's where the truth is. Before I go any further, I don't want this episode to just be something you listen and then you forget about. I want you to actually see yourself in this. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I don't want your polished answers because, first of all, I cannot even hear you. So it's your free zone. I don't want the version of you that sounds healed. I want the real answer. You want the real answer because truth is this answer is going to help you, not me. So the real answer, the one that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I want you to take a breath and be genuinely honest. Where in your life are you pretending to be okay, but you're actually not? Not what you show people. The real answer. Sit down with that one. What emotion do you judge the most in other people? Anger, jealousy, insecurity, neediness. Now ask yourself, where does this actually exist in you? Because, generally we're judging things in people that are actually mirroring back to ourselves. One of my favorite questions, where are you choosing to stay peaceful instead of being honest? Where are you avoiding truth to keep your image clean? Now I'm going to give you a question about the hidden desire. This one is also one of my favorite. What do you secretly want that you don't allow yourself to admit? Is that attention, validation, control, love, power? Say it to yourself without filtering it. Without filtering it. Think about the last time you felt triggered. Not the story, not what they did. What did that moment reveal about you? Where in your life are you overgiving? And be honest, what are you hoping to receive in return? Love, approval, safety? And now my most favorite question, because it reveals a hidden part of yourself. Hear me out. What part of you are you trying the hardest to hide? That's usually the part that needs your attention the most. And that's usually the part that's going to give you gold if you integrate it. If you stopped trying to be good for a moment, what would you actually feel? What would you actually say? Who triggers you the most? And what do they reflect back to you? And the final one, which I'm pretty sure is going to help you a lot, because this one I'm asking myself every single week to make sure that I'm keeping myself in check. Where are you lying to yourself about being healed? You see, you don't need to fix all of this right now, but you do need to stop pretending it's not there. Because what you refuse to see, it's what continues to run your life from the dark. Take another breath, and now let's talk about what real healing actually looks like. So what does real healing looks like then? Because it's not clean, it's far from perfect, and it's not always pretty. It's actually honest. It looks like feeling the anger and not exploding, but also not pretending that it's not there. Maybe it's in saying that didn't sit right with me. It looks like noticing jealousy, and instead of pretending you're above it, you admit one thing. There is a part of me that feels this, and all of this without shaming yourself for it. Sometimes healing looks like saying no without over-explaining and without guilt. You can just simply say, I can't do that, and letting that be just enough. Sometimes it looks like holding two truths at the same time. And this one was pretty heavy for me to heal in myself as well. Sometimes it means you saying, I care about you, and I'm hurt by what happened. Not choosing one just to stay good, because that's not gonna help you. It's just like someone cheating on you and you being like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna forget about this because I care about you. No, you have to admit sometimes that things that other people do are hurting you in order for you to allow yourself to see if you can actually go further into that situation or not. Sometimes we can forgive, but we cannot forget. And it is very fair for us to move on if we cannot forgive, And not forgiving, it's also just okay. If someone hurted you that much that you cannot forgive, just move on. Just move on, because if you're staying trapped in there, you're not going to be able to forgive yourself and them, and then you're going to turn the situation into an absolute fiasco. And sometimes healing, it looks like seeing your ugly, gnarly thoughts. And instead of panicking, you go saying, that's in me too. That's in me too. But you don't have to let that control you. That's the difference. You don't become your shadow, but you stop lying about it. You accept your shadow so you can integrate it into your life. You can absolutely be good and bad at the same time. There is something that actually just doesn't sit right with me. I've been talking to a lot of people lately, replying to my content and so on, and asking me for help, or in some discovery calls that I had with some new coaching clients. And I noticed the same pattern. People just want to be good. They just want to be healed. They just want to be good, but without accepting some parts of themselves that the society nowadays, it's labeling as 100% toxic or 100% bad. Do you know how many people were asking me to make them good, to help them become good? Because of some idea that we cannot be both at the same time. Like you can literally be jealous at the same time and compassionate at the same time. You can literally feel angry inside of yourself at the same time and choose control and peace at the same time. You can hold two truths about yourself, and it is not going to make you good or bad. It's going to make you whole. And so then this society made us like completely sick of the desire and need to be angelic, to be good, to be pure. There's no such thing as being pure. There's no such thing as being fully healed. A lot of people that I've worked with or I'm still working with, they had this same also pattern of allowing themselves to enter a relationship or meet somebody else, someone new, only when they're fully healed. And let me tell you something, there's no such thing as fully healed. Unless you come to life again, like you're a newborn, a baby, with an erased memory and no context or knowledge of emotions or experience in life. And yes, it is absolutely 100% our responsibility to make sure that just because our wounds, we're not going to bleed on people that have nothing to do with them. But at the same time, not allowing ourselves to enter a connection or friendship or simply a loving relationship with somebody just because we're not fully healed is bullshit. And that's why I hate how even the social media is pushing so much this thing onto us. Like, oh, it is selfish to be this and this and this and this to your partner. Yes, it is selfish if it's repetitive, if you don't work on those patterns. But sometimes you cannot actually understand some parts of yourself or heal some parts of yourself unless you're put in a situation where you can face those parts of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes if what you have to heal in yourself is you becoming less toxic in relationships, and I'm not saying like toxic, but let's say you have an identity wound around abandonment, Unless you're going to put yourself in a situation that you're going to be in a relationship and turn that relationship into something healthy that feels safe for you and create enough proof for your nervous system to see that your abandonment wound has nothing to do with your present love story, you will never be able to heal that, my friend. You will not be able to heal something that you're not putting yourself into. So that's why this healing with like, oh, I'm good. Just upgrading the good parts of you are never going to bring you even at the beginning or at the scratch of the real healing. And all of that starts with you. All of that starts with the beliefs that you have around your identity and the real truth about your identity. So the only way out is integration. This is what real healing is. Integration. Not becoming all light or more light. Not eliminating the dark. But, just becoming whole. Holding all parts of yourself. Your kindness and your anger. Your love and your jealousy. Your softness and your edge. Without letting any of them run unconsciously. Because the truth is, and I say this with love, you don't become dangerous by having a shadow. You become dangerous by pretending you don't. So no, you're not here to become perfect. You're not here to become pure. You're not here to become this always loving, always light version of yourself. Fuck that, respectfully. You're here to become honest, to see yourself fully and stop performing this healing bullshit. And actually live it. Allow yourself to actually feel it. Because real healing, it doesn't make you better. It makes you whole again. It makes you come back home to yourself. So I guess this concludes today's episode. If you found yourself here and you resonate with the podcast, give me a follow on Instagram and you can follow up with my content because my content, it's all about that related to all that I'm talking about here in the podcast. And if you, of course, struggle with integration, with integrating your shadow, my one-on-one coaching sessions are still open and I have 2 more spots for the next 2 to 3 months. So if you feel like that's you and you need some guidance and you're ready for the real work, not just sitting around wearing this like shiny little mask of yours, but you're actually tired of this societal bullshit we're all experiencing, then maybe we're the right match. So until next week, bye-bye.